He ultimately changed his nickname from Pretty Boy to Money.
Money, power, respect. It's not hard to figure out what he is after.
Man, and it's crazy, but it's happening. Yeah, 50 Cent is pretty much exposing the fact that Floyd Mayweather is having issues, but it was not 50 that started it. It was actually Business Insider.
It's Money Mayweather, the man who built his name off luxury, decadence, excess.
That smells so good.
Is Floyd going broke? Or is there more to the story than meets the eye? Let's explore. Okay guys, before we get into that, I need you to do me one massive favor. I'm gonna need you to like, comment, share and subscribe. The channel needs to grow. Let's just call it what it is. It needs to grow, and if you like it, I'm gonna need you to like it or subscribe. Probably better yet, subscribe. But put into the comment section what you like. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on an episode. I want the channel to grow. I need your support. Put into the comments what you think can change, if you want to see me talk about next. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. So why am I accusing Floyd of being broke? Why am I even broaching the question? Where did this stem from?
And I'm pointing like this because all of it. We're in New York City right now. We're in Manhattan. That's what we do. Come on. All this money made. No partners. All by myself. For 1,000 apartments. I'm just getting started.
Mayweather had purchased a small minority ownership interest in the portfolio with options to expand that stake over time or acquire the buildings in their entirety. It is not clear if Mayweather will exercise those options. The person asked to remain anonymous to speak about a confidential arrangement with Mayweather. So off the rip, he lied, right? He misrepresented it to come across as if he owns 62 units, is a $400 million deal. I have no partners in this, no partners. This is Mayweather money. I got no partners. This is my money. When that's not the case at all. Now they say that Mayweather have like a minority stake, a very minute minority stake. That could simply be, yo, we gave this man like 1 share for ambassadorship. And that's what appears to happen, because they would reach out to, like the company who actually owns the building, who actually owns majority of the buildings. They reached out to them and they would drop some nuggets that just blows this Mayweather con just out there, right? It completely exposes it. For anybody with a brain, you can read this and know what's going on. Floyd Mayweather continues to be a reliable partner and a great ambassador for affordable housing. Bruh, this man is an ambassador for these folks, bruh. He took an upfront check, probably like, I don't know, like a share of the company, a very minute share to promote the company. So then the spokesman for Black Spruce Management said the real estate company, that owns everything, they says to date, Mayweather has performed on all of his obligations.
So this New York deal in Manhattan, where he said or claimed to have bought 60 flats, I should say, from this complex, it was a bit preposterous to say the least. People looked into it, and as you could tell, they found out it was all a fugazi, a lie, nonsense.
Your paperwork,
yeah,
trash.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't need
You
that.
lied.
I brought a
right? You lied though to me.
But why would Floyd do that? The truth of the matter is Floyd owned a small stake, no shame in that, and he was a part of the marketing ambassadorial role. He was an ambassador for them, and a part of that essentially was he'd get a minority stake. It's very similar from viewers from the UK to the Krypton Konak situation, where they owned a bigger majority in Safeways. And there's no shame in that, but the problem was the embellishment, right? Why would Floyd need to embellish? Is this part of his marketing campaign? Is it a part of the Money Mayweather image to embellish things? It made people question more of Money Mayweather. How did he, can we trust everything that he says. You have some of the claims of 50 Cent.
Does Floyd Mayweather, is he as rich as we think he is?
No.
So when we see the $1 million in the bag,
that money, light money, like he can get his hands on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't,
I need some of that light money then.
like that,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
anytime like that, look, he is who he is. You can't discredit who he is. Like, and
you have tax issues that he's had. You've had the exhibition fights as well.
Okay, Floyd Mayweather fought another exhibition against Gotti last Saturday. A real show that left the crowd booing in the arena at the end. But in the middle of the second round, Floyd literally had the referee swapped out. He didn't like that the referee told him to stop hitting behind the head. Floyd is used to having the refs do whatever he wants, and he wasn't getting his way this time. It was so embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive. But come on, dude, put your legacy first. Nobody wants to remember you like this. And it gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami. And many are saying you're going to have to sell off your assets. Floyd, I'm rooting for you. Come on, let's turn it around.
And on those exhibition fights, it's important to mention that the Logan Paul fight, Logan Paul is still claiming that he hasn't been paid. And the issue with that is Floyd's response.
Has he paid you, or is that something that you can't disclose right now?
He has not paid me in full. That is a fact.
No
short a few mil, yeah.
Wow. Still a few mil.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have you been in contact with him?
Nah, we're taking this one to court.
No, are you being serious? Is this like a
Do I look serious, lady?
You do. I'm just making sure. I apologize.
Really?
I'm just...
Nah, I'm with you. I'm not with you. Yeah, we're taking him to court.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So,
yeah, see you in the courtroom.
I saw something, Logan Paul, he said you owe him some bread. How you feel about someone making those type of accusations?
That comes with the territory.
Right.
And you got to realize, when you used to getting, to them, that's real money. And I like YouTube because I don't mind getting a YouTube check.
Shit,
okay.
we getting a YouTube check.
Right.
This is going to be a big YouTube check.
Yeah, so, the money is not coming fast enough. That's why when they say money on the back end, as far as pay-per-view, it take a while, And he shouldn't trip. If he feel like he done great numbers and we done record-breaking numbers, then I understand. Nothing comes right away. Just like I'm still collecting checks from fights 7 or 8 years ago. I'm still collecting checks. Why? Because I made smart moves and I'm my own boss. So they hate when the tables turn. Right. Look how many years they've been owing us money. But we don't never trip. So now when the tables turn, they say, oh, you owe us something.
You see, Floyd's response is incredibly dismissive, a bit passive-aggressive at times. I felt it was very, not just dismissive, but in the UK we say he tried to little man him, but I think in America people say he was trying to son him. So it made me question, does Floyd spend a lot? And because he spends a lot, it's not easy for him to always pay people quickly in a timely fashion. With that Money Mayweather brand, it calls into question many things. The claims from 50 Cent kind of support that a little bit. It would make sense because, the lifestyle is decadent, to say the least.
Right. I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn.
Well, we are on ESPN. These are sports cars. This is a sports network. This car costs $3.2 million. This Bugatti right here costs $1.6 million. You ain't seen these two.
I haven't seen these?
No.
What? Floyd, this is 7 cars, man. Silver, platinum, Miami.
But something that's very important to understand is, why did Floyd market himself like that? Why is he Money Mayweather? What made him create that name? And in order to understand that, you have to understand Pretty Boy Floyd.
The fight that really to the pinnacle was Angel Man Freddy. Well, they don't really know about Angel Man Freddy. That's when I was that's when I wasn't Money Mayweather at that particular time. Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd, a young kid, real flashy, flamboyant, come from the inner city, come from a very, very rough background, You know, and the only thing I knew, how we solve all problems is fight. You know, and that's the only thing I knew when I was young, just to fight. You know, I have been involved in the sport of boxing my whole life. Never worked a 9 to 5, but I always understood business. See, whereas other fighters, they fight, they make money, they spend money. Whereas I always wanted to know, because you look in the sports world, you never see the owners of the team. The owners of the team still have money, the GM, and everyone still has money, but the person that is going out there competing, the athletes and entertainers, don't have any money. So I took it upon myself to learn the business part of boxing. Why let a promoter keep majority of the money when he's not out there competing? So what I did was I took over my own career, and I made crazy money in the sport of boxing. But the best thing about my career was making smart investments.
See, that rebrand from Floyd is symbolic. The Money Mayweather name is symbolic about him taking the ownership back into his own hands. He paid himself out of his Top Rank deal. Top Rank is a promotion company that Floyd was under. Floyd felt that he was being devalued.
So it took time, but then once I got away from the promoter, once I got away from Top Rank, a company that that was the best thing in my career, to get away from Top Rank. Once I got away from Top Rank, it was crazy. I bought myself out of my contract from Top Rank for $750,000, and just when I was away from him, just in 3 fights, I made $750 million when I was away from Top Rank. So I made the best move that was best for my career. And the ultimate goal
Under that contract, so he paid himself out, which is a remarkable act of not only self-belief, but entrepreneurship, which is a big part of the Money Mayweather brand, so you understand it. As 50 Cent said, allegedly at the start anyway, there was no company, there was no Mayweather promotion. He was actually a Golden Boy fight. He was on every Golden Boy ticket, and he was asked, allegedly by him, to create the promotion company.
He changed his mind.
Now, what do you mean he changed his mind?
Like, as he was actually going in to jail, he asked me to help him with Mayweather Promotions.
Right.
Then as he actually got in, I took a look. I realized there is no Mayweather Promotions. There's no LLC. There's no seal. It's not incorporated. There's no. It's just
the name.
Yeah,
that
it's
comes
just a
out
name.
people's mouths.
Right. See, so technically, Floyd is a Golden Boy fighter. You see what I'm saying? He fights on every Golden Boy card. They do all the footwork on
like
every
the
show.
negotiations and the imprint, the paperwork.
They built the whole show. So when he says help him with Mayweather Promotions and it's not there, I go, okay, I know what he means. He wants me to
get it together,
put it together for him. So I do TMT Promotions. I get it all the way together. Sign the actual fighters. We had acquisition of Gamboa. It was like I had to negotiate a release. It was $1.2 million. Andre Durrell, IBF champion Billy Dip, WBA champion Celestino Calabero. So we brought them over. I brought him over while Floyd was, still incarcerated.
Yeah.
Then he comes home. There's the Let's Get Floyd Back in Pocket campaign that goes on, where it's $300,000 chains being bought and buying him the new Lamborghini and all these new things, and I'm sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money? When he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh, man.
And I'm looking at him, and he looked in my face and he tell me to do that.
This has been disputed by Floyd, of course.
It's a money thing. He invested money into this company, and
Well, he invested money into his own company. My company has always been Mayweather Promotions.
Right.
That's been my company from the beginning. And I know 50 has had G Unit, from the beginning. And I know he's with Interscope. So Mayweather Promotions has always been the company that I've been with, which is my company.
Right.
And
I mean, if you want me to break it down, I'll break it down.
All right, break it down, Missy.
Just call it break it down.
I'm gonna break it down. Here's what happened, okay? Here's what
Shut this
happened.
up.
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Tell me, Yee.
All right. They were gonna go into business together. Floyd went to prison, and 50 said, "Okay, let me incorporate this business, invest my money into it." But it wasn't a business that Floyd never said, "Okay, I need you to incorporate this." I never told you to do all that. So, is this what happened? So 50 went ahead and invested his money into this. Floyd was like, yo, I didn't even tell you to do that. Then Floyd came home. He was chilling, spending money. 50's like, when am I getting my money back that I invested? Floyd's like, I didn't tell you to do that. And then that was it.
Was that it? Was she there? Is she right? Is she close?
Floyd like, damn, you 50? How you know all that?
I read it.
And it's important to say that because when it comes to business deals, when it comes to deals, it can be murky. I don't know who's lying. I don't know who's telling the truth. It's difficult. If you Google it, Floyd's company, it exists. It is there. Was this a way of 50 trying to Machiavellian his way into a company? Was he trying to do a little finger and figure out himself, place himself into the business world through Floyd? It wouldn't surprise me. They have a weird relationship. He still refers to him as champ. They're still around each other a little bit, not the same way. And it wouldn't be a surprise if someone wants to use Floyd. There seems to be a theme with that as well. And I think his marketing makes people believe that he might be usable. So it's difficult. It is difficult to analyze that case as an example.
Tell them show where you at. Throw them people over in Dubai that money. Tell them get on live right now. And he owe people in Saudi Arabia money too. Bro. Out here scamming people. Tell them get on live right now.
Tank Gervonta Davis is a rising star in boxing, a phenomenal boxer. Not quite in the league, in my opinion, of his predecessor, Floyd, but phenomenal. And I do believe, just to make a boxing point, I do think he could be the face of boxing, especially with a heavyweight division that's the faces of boxing. The face of the heavyweight division with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury recently been defeated a couple times now. It's up there for him. But he's, as you can see from that clip, claimed Gervonta Davis, Tank, that Floyd may not be as wealthy as he says, stuck in Dubai. How truthful is that? Is there more to it? There could be much more to it, but he has claimed that this is the second person to claim that Floyd doesn't make the money that he says he makes. It wouldn't be a shock if Floyd was tight one time. Tight for him is different from tight for us.
Oh my gosh. Hey, wife or die? I'm
gonna finish.
So it's difficult to really judge that situation in its entirety. There's an irony that 50 calling him broke, by the way, when 50 filed for bankruptcy. Even though he was joking, still there's an irony for that. Tank Gervonta Davis has had Floyd in one of his more recent fights with Ryan Garcia. So was it a fractured relationship? There seems to be a heavy element with them where its idols became rivals sort of situation. So there could be, I wouldn't call it envy, but there is something to when they say don't meet your heroes, because they never quite meet your expectations, and expectations is what life is built of. And when the expectations are that high,
for them no more, they want to throw you to the wayside. Yeah, I mean, it just once you get around someone, you be looking up to these people so bad, and like once you get around, they don't be who they say they is or who they portray to be. You be like, damn, it's damn near like it's a letdown.
You end up just being left in a space where you just feel so disappointed by the character that you met, which they could never match that character because it was a fantasy in your mind. So there is that aspect of Gervonta Davis and Floyd. Floyd always says that these fighters and these people are young and they, don't yet understand, which in one case can sound dismissive, but also sounds from a place of wisdom. Maybe a lack of accountability, but it's difficult to say because Floyd is very, I think the word is evasive, a little bit evasive, but very diplomatic with his answers regarding these situations.
The money I still got, the jewels I still got, the cars I still got, the mansions I still got. You either motivate it or you hate it. Either or, it doesn't matter. Walk with me, let's talk.
And just before I go into the next segment, I think it's important to understand some of why Floyd is just so elaborate with his spending, so elaborate with his flaunting of his wealth. And that's because he comes from a background that was financially unstable.
A fighting family, 7 of us in a 1-bedroom in Jersey. Dad, was a hustler. A former fighter, hustler. My mom had it, extremely hard, but, kept believing, kept working hard, and we made it happen. I didn't get involved in boxing for the fame. I wanted to put my mother in a great position, so that's what I did. I seen my mother working at a nursing home. She was barely making ends meet, and my dad was in prison. I rolled the dice.
Floyd has spoken about his mum being on crack, his father going to prison. It was really, at one point, he felt as if he had to raise himself. And you may say Floyd Mayweather Sr. comes from, he's a former boxer, but as you will find out soon, not all athletes are rich for a long or sustained period of time. And I do think that plays some of the contribution to why Floyd is the way he is, the way he flaunts his wealth, because it comes from a place when he was younger, being financially insecure, and now those childhood feelings still, to me, and I'm playing armchair psychologist, still haven't left him that financial insecurity, because from what we can see, the checks that he has, there's no reason to flaunt it so much. It will just show. And he's allowed to express his wealth as well, but it's just to the extreme. Perhaps it's typically as well overcompensating for something. But when you understand the background he came from, the hard work that he did to pursue it, it does echo in and provide a grander understanding why he behaves like that. I mean, his relationship with his father at one point was extremely fractured.
Our training camp you was undefeated when you started with your daddy.
I started with you, didn't I?
You was training him. I was training when Roger was down here.
You can't train nobody when you're locked up. You can't train nobody when you're locked up.
Everything about what this man said.
This is my trainer right here.
What his daddy didn't do.
This is my trainer right here.
Guess what?
This is my trainer right here.
Y'all gonna see about him.
I don't get
y'all
mad.
Gonna see.
Hey,
nobody mad at you.
Jealousy don't get you nowhere.
What jealousy?
Jealousy don't get you nowhere.
Tell you this right here.
Don't nobody want to be with you. Don't De La Hoya left you. De La Hoya don't want to be with you.
Then leave me. I left De La Hoya. You crazy?
De La Hoya don't want to be with you.
I left De La Hoya.
Hatton don't want to be with you. Don't no fighter want to be with you. When you got De La Hoya, he was champion. When you got to us, we was already 15 or 14 fights to the good before we was finna fight for the title.
Don't worry about it. I'm the one.
Roger's the one. Roger's my trainer. Roger made. We don't want nobody in the way interfering while we working.
It don't make no difference.
We don't want nobody in the way while we working. Stop interfering. Get out of our way.
Hey, you better hold it. Hey,
nobody better grab me. Nobody better do to me.
And you ain't finna do nothing. And you ain't finna do nothing to me.
To me.
And you ain't finna do nothing to me. You put the hands on me. You better not with me, mother. Come on.
You supposed to be in my gym. Get the out my gym.
Hey, come put me out your mother gym, punk. Come put me out of here, punk. Come put me out, mother. Put me out. Put me out, mother.
Mother, get the out my gym.
No. I beat your mother. 41 and 1.
You can fight worse. Let me go. I'm gonna talk right here. You couldn't fight worse. You couldn't fight worse. You couldn't fight worse.
Come whoop me, mother.
You wasn't never the mother cab driver.
You'll get your
You wasn't never the mother cab driver.
However, they've made amends. They are cool now. So, let's not harp on that too much.
I mean, when you say a strong, willing, hardworking man, that's my dad. And I don't care what we have been through in the past. It's all about growth and growing. I love my dad because without my dad, I wouldn't be the man who I am today. I wouldn't have accomplished the things I've accomplished, and I wouldn't be known as TBE if it wasn't for my father. So I love my dad. My dad, every day, no matter what my dad did, my dad would run the streets, my dad would hustle, but every day, my dad would make sure I went to the boxing gym.
What are the real dangers of Floyd Mayweather? How does that impact the youth? How does that impact generations that watch him?
So we go get the money to entertain and appease the women.
If it wasn't about women, You think a lot of guys would purchase a big rope chain or a fancy car? Probably not.
16 to 34-year-olds are taking out credit monthly to buy drip. 1 in 10 use it weekly or more often.
Almost half of young people are in debt.
And it's luxury items, it's stuff they don't have to buy. I see something that I like, I'm just gonna buy it.
30% of people surveyed have missed a credit card repayment or a buy now, pay later payment.
Buying luxury items and you don't have a pot to in is stupid, 100%. If you're spending money that you don't have, you're most likely gonna end up in debt.
I have like 15, 20 grand worth of stuff in my flat, like bags and shoes, and I can't get the train, get yourself together.
Flexing culture. What is flexing culture? Is it just dying for drip? Drip and drowned? What is flexing culture? What is it? It's difficult to really say. Is there any shame in liking nice clothes? Is there any shame in spoiling yourself from time to time? No.
I could have the Richard Mille or the chains and the clothes because everything else is patterned. I mean, even down to family. My family's patterned or my responsibilities and that are all taken care of, innit? So, back to what I was saying, yeah, I got to a point when I was like, how long can I just be insecure and just buy more jewels and do all this stuff? Like, I know this, the reason why I might not feel 100 is because, bro, man's putting on weight, bro. I'm not happy with how I'm looking.
But as you can see, some people, even athletes themselves, have gone broke trying to live up to a certain lifestyle, an image that they're trying to portray.
I tell these guys, you know, Shannon, when I first was an idiot, when I got my money, I had like 3 or 4 cars. And Dr. J says, how many of those cars can you drive at the same time? I said, what do you mean? He says, how many of those cars you got to drive at the same time? I says, 1. He says, well, why you got 4? He said, Chuck, this money got to last you for the rest of your life. He says, this money got to last you the rest of your life. He says, son, don't waste all your money on cars. Everybody know who you are. Wow. He said, if you pull up in a Kia, they know, oh, that's Charles Barkley. If you pull up in a Mercedes-Benz or a Rolls-Royce, that's Charles Barkley. But the problem is that money, it's not the fact that you can't afford that car. Right. It's the fact that $300,000 you spent on that Bentley, if you bought a car for $70,000, $80,000, you would have had $200,000 more in the bank, and it would have been growing and growing, and then 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, that $200,000 is going to be worth a lot more.
The question is, Charles, is that and I tell young people, you can afford that car right now at 20. Will you be able to afford that car at 60?
Yeah, that's the key. When I started out, and I tell them, I say, yo, man, I've been in your situation. I wasted money on cars. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, man. Because when you waste money on cars, you're really just trying to impress other people.
Correct.
That's what you're doing. That's like, when I used to have nice cars, they said, what kind of rims you going to put on it? I said, what do you mean? They're like, put some rims on it. I said, so if I put rims on it, I'm really trying to impress other people, because I actually can't see the rims when I'm in the car. That's what I tell them. I said, you know I can't see the rims when I'm in the car. Right. So
there's so many stories of people who portrayed a particular image and ended up being frauds, literally.
To be honest, I wouldn't have matched with none of the girls that you had on the lineup.
Why is that?
I require a certain type of woman, certain type of standards, look.
So obviously we see you are in a, is that a jet? Is that a private jet that you're in?
Yeah.
Royce's private jets.
I don't care what you got. All right, my question to you is,
Yes, I'm rich.
No, I didn't ask.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Look, you a doctor, right?
When you look at the doctor,
Wait, you a doctor, right?
Yes.
How much money you got in your bank account right now?
Why is everything money with you? Because that's all he has to offer. Bloody hell. That's all he has to offer.
Start with Marzi. So obviously Marzi, we saw you came on BM Talks to them. And everybody's seen it, the whole world is seeing it. I've seen it, you've probably seen it. People keep sending me DMs every day. And so basically you said that you was on a private jet, but the internet went and done its research. And it seems like they found a private jet that looks like the one that you was in. But the only difference with the one that they found is that that one doesn't fly. So
she laughing again.
So The one that they found, you can actually rent out on Peerspace for, I believe, for about $130 an hour.
Yeah.
All right, so can you please confirm to the world if you was on a real private jet?
At that point, I was not on a real private jet, really, because the real answer is I wasn't able to charter one at the time. It wasn't unavailable because it was the holidays to get people's attention. You know what I'm saying? That's really the reason why I did it. But I do fly private jets all the time.
Post, edit, clip here, guys. So you've just seen that clip of Mozzie or Marzi, depending where you're from, of him going mad, being caught in a lie about the private jet. Why does he even need to see the need to lie is the important question. And it is because he's trying to fill some sort of void, clearly over the top. He thinks this is a good way, whether it be marketing strategy for his company or himself, or just to get women. I don't know. I couldn't tell you for the life of me. I get some people on the internet purely just as clout, purely as a way to get views and garner and grow their personal brand. But he comes across shallow. He comes across, I question if his chains are real. And the problem is that so many people will watch that and think that's the extreme and not realize that he reveals so many of the tropes not many, but a lot of people not only use online, but in day-to-day life. Lying, excessively talking about what you have, very egotistical. And I'll say to people, male or female, if you find someone talking about their achievements and what they have too much, at the very least they're very egotistical, and most likely they don't have as much as they're making out to be. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I typically think people who have a lot want to conceal how much they have because of fear of being used, fear of being exploited. That would be more my line of thinking. And again, I want to make it clear, anyone that enjoys jewelry, although I really question if Marzi's jewelry is real. I don't know if it's real, that it's a bit over the top, but anyone who likes jewelry, if you like the Versace robe, go and buy it if you can afford it. Go and buy it even if you're doing a buy now, pay monthly later kind of scheme. There's no shame in that, but the point of this is don't kill yourself for this image. So many people who are portraying this image don't even live by the standard that they're portraying. They're not even coming close. In the case of Floyd, as we're discussing, he may be falling short. The image might be eroding into his personal life and making him lose things. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya is accusing him of having to not file for bankruptcy, but sell some of his assets. And I want people to be aware that the image is just that, just an image. Instagram is not reality. Instagram is not the truth. It is a highlight reel, carefully curated to appeal to aesthetics. That's it. Marzi, shallow. But there are so many people. I've got friends who have gone into debt trying to live a lifestyle, trying to impress women that really only enjoy them for the moment. And it's scary, it's sad and frustrating that we're still living by this. Here's another example of that standards. So many people on Instagram don't post pictures where they're wearing the same clothes. It's crazy. Everyone repeats the same clothes. It is an unlivable standard that you can't wear the same clothes twice. Do you know how crazy that is? And the people you think are trying to live by that standard, A, they may have an assist, they may be given a lot of free clothes. B, may not, or most likely not, live by that standard themselves. What I'm telling people to do with this video is just break the chains, break this illusion of wealth and what you've been told wealth looks like, and just be comfortable with what you have. If you're able to pay your bills, go out, take your girl out, take girls out, and go on holidays, have at it. You're doing great. You're doing so much better than people will make it out to seem. You don't always need the most over-the-top thing to be a symbol of wealth, or to be a status symbol of wealth, I should say. If you're someone who's just on the grind, you're not quite where you'd like to be, but you're trying every day, be proud of yourself. You're in one of the best moments of life. That the grind is the most enjoyable part. I can tell you that for free, even though it doesn't feel enjoyable right now.
You want to borrow money from me to go on a date, and I'm working, you're working, or you're not working. But you're not working, you have time to go and date. But I'm the one that's working. What kind of rubbish are you talking about? Say the thing very slowly, so you can hear the stupidity in what you're saying. You want to borrow something you can't afford to go out and impress somebody who will eventually know you can't afford it. Are you a bloody fool or what?
And I think the harmful thing for me about that is the conversation, right? If this was 25 and under, you can kind of forgive it, especially with men, their brains are not fully developed. You can forgive that conversation, but this is conversation from grown women, grown men as well. My biggest issue with this is so many people go broke trying to live this image. People who make a lot, like the 1% a lot. Like the everyday person or people who are closer to the everyday person trying to mimic it, it's almost doomed for failure. We speak about lack of financial education, lack of financial education in the schooling system, but so much of what the content is around, specifically around dating as well, like I said, a lot of this is to impress women. And women too, a lot of it's to impress sometimes women, sometimes guys, to look a certain way. So much of what we are pushing in the dating sphere lacks financial education. It's worrying to me.
Some of the most romantic things a guy has ever done for you?
I think being romantic is how you speak to a lady. You know the little small things and you say, babe, here's $500, go and get yourself some more panties. How you know I need some? Oh, I checked your drawer. Little details. If I'm in the supermarket and I'm talking to you or you text me, hey, what are you doing? I'm in the supermarket and you send me like $500, that's like, whoa.
Can you give an example of something that's not attached with him sending?
Sending money?
Yeah.
Say when you
buy a car.
That's always nice.
Romance with no money.
Romantic, no money. I think dinner, shutting down the restaurant.
What is your love language?
Bling, bling. Every time I come around the city, bling, bling.
Well, why do you think that? You think all girls love money?
No, I don't. Do you?
It's not a thing. I don't love it.
What is your love language, Winnie?
Spending time.
It's so worrying. I mean this. I've made mistakes with money. So I'm not shaming anyone who's gone broke to look a certain way. I've done it younger years and it taught me a lesson. I didn't learn it straight away, but I've made mistakes. You know, me and one of my friends, I'm not going to name him, but he'll know when he hears this. We speak about, you know, how we were spending so much to look a certain part that we almost creating another insecurity that we felt like the image was false to us. And that's another thing. You know, a lot of these athletes spoke about their bouts of depression, anxiety, due to their financial stress. And those are people making a lot. So everyday people, careful, and I really do mean this, chains, watches, cars. It really is what BBLs are for women with insecurities. Chains, watches, cars are the BBLs for men with insecurity, searching for validation, searching for approval. It's why I wanted to mention the financial insecurity of Floyd's past, to understand like the roots of why someone would have to flex so much. And it screams insecure, it screams validation seeking. And I just wonder how the conversation from 30-year-olds, especially in dating, is still going on. In an economic crisis, it's wild. It is wild, and so many people talk about that illusion. It's really just an illusion. No one can keep up with the illusion. It is not real. I want to make this abundantly clear. There is no shame if you've ever gone broke trying to keep up with an illusion. There is no shame if you bought something for yourself and it left you a little bit tight. We've all done it. Especially when you're younger, there's no shame in that. That clip you saw with that guy just going mad about creating an illusion. Trust me, most of the people that are flexing the most have got more in common with him than possibly Floyd. Trust me. But if there are people out there who refuse to see that aspect of it, or refuse to believe that it's often a mirage, it's often just an illusion, have at it, horse. Enjoy your day. But there's a true danger to flexing culture. There's a mental health strain, there's a financial strain, and often, whether you're a male or a female, you're gonna attract the worst kind of characters.
Women, they take notice. They see the guys that are spending money. They see how they're dressed.
And so we go get the money to entertain and appease the women.
If it wasn't about women, You think a lot of guys would purchase a big rope chain or a fancy car? Probably not.
You know, you got women abound telling you how cute you are when, you know, I was an ugly duckling maybe just a month ago.
The players complain about the gold diggers, but they do everything possible to attract them.
However, the ultimate question of this video was, is Floyd going broke?
I don't know. I never counted. I am not really a math guy.
Okay guys, my second post-edit clip here, guys. This is just to make it abundantly clear, because I feel like my conclusion isn't super duper clear about how I feel about Floyd Mayweather and is he going broke. Let me make this clear. He's probably in danger of having to sell his asset, reducing his liabilities, reducing some of his monthly outgoings. He's in danger. It looks hot, but don't know. We don't truly know. I think, like I said, the outlets are a bit presumptuous, but we can see from him lying about the Manhattan deal, or exaggerated maybe, that Floyd's image is mostly an image. There's been the crypto scams. I'm not going to put a clip, but I'll just put a little article here about his crypto scams. He's been involved in 3 crypto scams. You can forgive one because not a lot of people understood crypto at its inception or when it blew up in lockdown. The second one, The third one, you know, you can start to see that, is he a grifter? Is he someone that is living from deal to deal? Because like 50 Cent said, he struggles to maintain his balance with that lifestyle. The money's gone fast. So bear that in mind. Bear that in mind when you leave this video, that Floyd, who makes a lot, an extreme amount, is struggling with the monthly outgo, with keeping up with that appearance. Financially living a certain way is unsuccessful, and there's no shame in living below your means. If you can do certain things or you're grinding, there is no shame in that. Do not allow yourself to be shamed by the internet.
Asked me to help them, so I could stop them from using TMT as their logo right now. Because
you wouldn't do that because y'all cool again.
Yeah, I'm just not chasing it. But to be honest with you, I incorporated TMT in Delaware while he was incarcerated. Because he didn't sign the paper doesn't mean the corporation is invalid. So I could actually, technically it trademarks the term of it because his entire corporation is built on it. So I could tell you, you can't have TMT socks. You can't have that TMT shirt you got on. He don't understand that because it's just not. I just said it and he won't be able to figure out that I could do that.
Damn, you and this guy, man. I thought y'all was good again.
We are good. I just don't understand why he having the conversation. How am I coming up in conversation? I don't even care about what they're doing.
So there's still some static.
No, it only happens when it's fight time.
Got it.
It's time to build some type of energy or some sort of press.
Right.
It's time to make a fight, and then that happens.
Do you think he should step back in the ring?
I think he got to right now because the money gone.
So the money's really gone?
Yeah. That's what you think. It's fight, get the money, spend the money, fight.
All that money?
It's been 2 years.
So is it just his overhead is so high on a day-to-day, month-to-month? Like
I don't even want to talk about it. Like with the lifestyle, that money is gone, trust me. Now it's like, if you call him, he'll be at your local hosting in a nightclub because you need that action right now.
I definitely think the image of Money Mayweather, the decadency of it, is somewhat inflated to the point where he made a good deal in Manhattan, but lied unnecessarily because it's a good deal. But he's created a standard where there's sort of like a go inflation, where a good deal, a great deal, by any standard, is above anything ordinary. To the image that he created seems too regular. So I do believe there's some inflation to that, which can explain why he may take long to pay things. I don't believe there's any taxation issues at the moment. The Logan Paul thing, let's see how it plays. I do think people are being very presumptuous with it. I hope he's not going broke. I don't actually wish that for any black guy or anyone out there that's worked as hard as Floyd has worked. But there is a takeaway I want us to take away from this for anyone that is watching, is that look at characters instead of the symbols of good characters. Yes, a car does mean, you would presume means someone has it more together than someone without a car. But as we all know by now, it doesn't mean that. Hard work, which Floyd represents in his droves.
But being a champion is not just receiving a lot of money
or receiving a belt. I can retire today. I'm well off, very comfortable. But I got the will to win. I'm out there at 4 or 5 in the morning, working, to this day. As I think back, when I was a child, every day, I would come home and watch every legendary champion. It wasn't one fighter I wanted to be like. Some days I wanted to fight like Leonard. Another day I want to fight like Hagler. But then I want to be a killer like Mike Tyson. I said I'm going to take a little bit from every one of them and put it all in one box and shake it up and see what we come up with. And when I say TBE, it's no disrespect to no legendary champion. Every fighter that's in this room has to feel that he's the best. If not, you in the wrong sport.
The aesthetics of it, we focus too much of that. And I understand why. Spending, the treatment you would get in a Harvey Nichols or a Selfridges makes you feel so important. It fills our ego. But it doesn't replace the fact of good character, working hard to earn that gift. It doesn't replace the character that you hope is behind these symbols. Floyd works hard. The rags to riches story is real. The drive, the determination, it's real. And I wish people would, or I hope people take from this, mimic his good character. Perhaps not the marketing illusion side of it. Or if you are, just market yourself like that and don't go broke doing it. Trust me, I have friends who've gone broke. I've gone broke trying to live up to a certain image. It wasn't that big, but why for that? But you know what I mean. Ultimately, I want us to mimic how these people we look up to, their hard work, their dedication to thing. And in the case of Floyd, his family ethics as well. He has his family around him a lot. He's in recent times suffered a lot of loss with his someone that was working on his team. I forgot her name, forgive me. But his father, his uncle Roger as well, who was essentially his father figure when his father was away, and he was his trainer for much of his time until his health deteriorated.
It's like the last couple years, you know, Roger wasn't the same. But I never wanted to come out publicly.
Right.
And say that I knew he was going to pass away in due time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when I think about this, and it hurts. It hurts. Just when I just talk about it. Love him so much. He got to, I'm still going to be there for his children as a father figure for his children, because his son is so young and his daughter is so young. You know, he's great spirit.
Those things are the things we should mimic more. The symbol stuff, no problem looking good. Looking good does show a good representation of yourself. The artistry behind some of the jewelry is a wonderful thing. No one is knocking you for going for it, but don't make yourself broke trying to look rich. Please don't. And with that, I give you my due. If you like the episode, put into the comments why, put into the comments what you want to hear next. It really helps, you know, if you put into the comments what you would like to hear next. And what is underneath my nose? I'm out.
You see him in one press conference, got on a little green suit, dressed like a leprechaun. I said, yo, my man, it's not St. Patrick's Day yet. I mean, you not Money Mayweather, so why'd you wearing money green? You're not getting the biggest paycheck. Your biggest payday is facing me. Without me, you're not getting shit.